So I think let us start. Okay. So I would like to introduce. I'm Sucheta. I am the organizer of WITS Pune, and Teju is the co-organizer. Both of us are right now, using multiple systems to log in. So we have today here Rupali, who is going to present us, you know, on R and its benefits. As you know, it's one of the upcoming language in competition to Python. Rupali has worked on R for quite some time. She has worked on large manufacturing data sets for analysis and data visualization, reporting, and automation and dashboarding using R. She is very passionate about R. She has done her master's from Cummins College of Engineering, and currently she works with eClerks, and she is going to present us today introduction to R, the little bit story about the R, and how it has evolved, pros and cons, its competition with Python, some basic data sets, data types, syntax, some demo of the R Studio, and if you all like, we can continue this. Okay, so over to Rupali. Rupali, welcome to WITS Pune. This is your first session.
Thank you.
And first session as a speaker, and I'm sure that you will rock and you will do many more sessions for our audience. So please start. Introduction to our.
Hi, welcome everybody. Good evening, and welcome to the WITS Pune sessions. So we will start directly with the topic, and it's really I like your enthusiasm to learn R. So I guarantee you that you will find it as interesting language, and you will really require new tools which will help you to get you help you to shape your data science career. And also R has many more to offer other than the programming language. So once again, thank you everybody. I will continue. As Sucheta ma'am mentioned, we will first have an introduction regarding the history of R, who developed it, and the purpose behind, and how for what it was used. And then today, in last 10 to 15 years, R became very popular, and this is even in demand today also. But if we look back, it's the R's development. It started almost 30 years ago. I will come into that point within a few minutes, but before that, we will try to find out why R. Okay, so uh, R comes under open source GNU license, and all of you must be aware of the Android, which is open source operating system freely available. Similarly, R's versioning or packages licenses also comes under open source. So R is basically freely available to use. That is the main reason I am interested, because I am also passionate about open source technologies, so that they can help to a community to a larger extent. So nobody has to pay huge amount to use those technologies, and again it is widely available and extensively used in the industry since few decades. Again, R supports variety of platforms including Windows, Unix, and Mac OS. R supports mainly the main reason behind the popularity of R in the data science paradigm today is its support for statistical models. Mainly, R is popularly known for the big and very rich environment support it offers for the statistical modeling using any programming language. And here I will tell you R beats Python also. So if anybody is interested in exploring the data using statistical method, then in Python there are no comparisons available to the packages which are by default available in R. That is again another popularity of R and why it's in so much demand today. Again, as I mentioned, many more advanced routines in statistical packages also, they provide inbuilt functionality in R. So those who are aware of programming knowledges, and again I want you tell to you one thing is that it's not like that those who know some coding and etc they can only learn R. Anybody can learn R starting from any stage in the life. But those who know some little bit coding or little bit analytics, they will find are really beneficial, because for for some projects, our inbuilt statistical functions, they are available in our language only, which are not available in any other language. And our biggest competitor today is Python. Again, we are coming to the point: why should you go for or R, or should you go for Python? But before that, we will first try to find out what R offers and how you have to use it, so that you can have a greater design or greater algorithms while finding out your analysis or algorithms. Again, another very popular feature and very great feature offered by R is the graphics capabilities. The ggplot library, which is inbuilt in R, it's the oldest and the greatest visualization tool available with the R. And the visualization it offers, they are really powerful and simple, and they are also simple to use. That is again the reason for the popularity of R. And R, in data analytics, at least we can say, a picture, there is a famous saying, a picture says 1,000 words. So whatever you do with your data, if you have to convey that to your presentator, if you present it cleanly and neatly, then it's a lot. And that is again the very good feature available, the visualization in the R. Again, I will like to say that, as I told you, R has a rich system of packages. So all those packages, if you can use them. It will be like you have the superpower with you, and you can use them directly, and you can do all the analysis, complex analysis, within few simple steps. The Again, I would like to tell you is that, the Python, those who are available with the Python, for them, I want to tell you is that, uh, in when we work with the Python code, many times we observe that there are versioning issues. But our it's not the case. Our code almost run seamlessly on any version provided by it. Then the support, because R has rich support community. Mainly R is used by academician and researchers. So they use it, and they have very great support system provided. Then, as I mentioned earlier, like learning curve. To learn R, it's not necessary you should know some of all the coding or computer science concepts. You can start using very few basic packages, and you can start your analysis. So no need to put your time to learn for first coding and then setting up environment, etc. So that is also for beginning. I am saying learning curve is like, if you are used to, if you learn very sample few packages, then you can start your analysis using R. Then another feature offered by R is, any using R, you can integrate your other programming language code, any like Python, C++, that you can integrate and run from the R. So these are the different features which are offered by R. So I hope you will find it really powerful language. So can you say what you think? Anybody? Hello?
Yeah, hi. So definitely RS is the most advanced statistical.
Yeah, yeah, yes. Okay, so we will start with the brief history of R first. So basically, before R language, there was a S language available, and that language was used for statistical and graphical programming language, as a statistical and programming language, which was developed in 1988 by RS2. The S2 version was developed in 1988 by R.A. Baker, J.A. Chambers, and A. Wilkes. Then the S3 version was developed in 1992 by J.M. Chambers and T.J. Husty. And in 1998, J.M. Chambers also written the advanced version of S4. And basically, R initially it was written by Ross Ika and Robert Gentleman at Department of Statistics at University of Auckland, New Zealand during 1990s. That time, this language, both S and R languages, they were not open source, and they were not like used for any uh, they were not made available to the public, but the researchers there, they were using for doing their analysis task. Later, in 1995, R was made available to the public, and since then it got its popularity. So as I said, R is like not something like a new language. It's there since almost 2 decades, but it started popularity in last decade mostly, and today it's used extensively, and the demand for R developers is much high. So uh, as I mentioned to you, the most functionality is provided through packages. And what are the packages? Packages are nothing but a piece of code which is written to do some computation. And R has a rich ecosystem of packages available for performing mainly data analysis, data visualization, and statistical tasks. So we can, R is a functional programming language, but R can work with objective data also, and basic functions are by default. If you have to use some other advanced function, you just need to import the package which is available in the ecosystem. How to import, how to install the package, and how to use in program, we will see in today's session briefly. So it's easy because for many inbuilt functions our packages are available, and they are freely available in the Grand Mirror. So basically I wanted to tell you that R initially it was developed under open source, and the popular version of R is CRAN R. But in after that, Microsoft also had their own R. So like if somebody searches on the Google which R to install, so basic open source R is from CRAN R, but Microsoft also developed their own R system. In both the system, packages and functions are almost same, and you can use anybody, but the most popular is CRAN R. And you can download different packages from mainly from CRAN repository. And again, we as a user can write our new packages, which is again very great advantage offered by R. So like if we have some new functionalities and we have to we can write our own packages, and that is very simple as compared to other programming languages. And that is also the reason as the R has most support. So Git also has many packages provides, which are developed by some open source contributors, and they can be used for different tasks also. So uh, now anybody as R is such a big ecosystem, to use it skillfully you have to use the inbuilt health system. I will show you how to use it in the IDE, which we are going to use for the R, which is R Studio. And everything this like how to look at the output and program, I will show you in few minutes. Okay, so basically, when we have to start working with the R, first thing is we need to run the, we need to download the R repository, which is freely available in the internet, and then we have to install it in our system. And as I told earlier, R repository is available for all major operating systems, including Windows, Macintosh, and Linux. After installing R, R Studio R comes with one major and great IDE, which is R Studio IDE. It's a very powerful IDE, which is mostly used to work with the R environment. So after downloading R, their R Studio downloads are also freely available on the internet, and depending on the system, we can download that. And after installing R and R Studio, we can start our uh, work on programming in R. So basically, can you see this screen, R Studio ID? This is visible?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so this is the R Studio IDE. We can see this is a very powerful IDE. And one more thing is like that Python. Python has different IDs you must be aware of. Can anybody tell me which are different IDs available to work with Python?
We have Spider, Jupyter.
Yeah, so like there is Spider, Jupyter, then PyCharm also, and VS Code also. So if you are working with the Python, then it's not like there is only one IDE. There are different IDEs available, but the major popular IDE which is available with R is RStudio only, and that is again very powerful. It offers many features which are easy to use, and they help us in daily tasks. So this is the RStudio ID. What we can see here is the terminal, the codes window. Here we can write our code. Basically ID is divided into 4 different sections. So this is the coding section. This is we can call console or terminal, etc. Here we can see the environment, history, connections and tutorial. And this section, which is as at the bottom right, it tells which files are available in our working directory. This plots whichever visualizations we write, we can see them here. Packages, here we can find which are different packages available and used in current program. This help section we can use. I will show you how to use it. And viewer section, mainly this is used for viewing 3D plots. So these are the 4 different parts of the RStudio IDE. So I already downloaded R and RStudio, and we will start exploring with some basic code which anybody can understand in some few simple steps. So yeah. So when we will start our work using RStudio and R, the first thing is that RStudio creates its own workspace, and each session we hold, uh, the objects which we create during that session, they are held in memory, and all the sessions, all the objects which are there in the current session, they are called as workspace. This workspace is not saved on disk. As I said you, everything runs in memory. So to save it on disk, we need to save it explicitly. And otherwise, what will happen if we open the RStudio, do our analysis, and if we not save the workspace, then that work will be lost. When you come again, you will not get it. So R has the concept of workspace, and the data or the whatever objects we create during the session, we need to store them in the workspace. Okay, so you can set your path for the workspace using simple commands, but there is slight difference, like most popular operating system which is Windows, to provide path for the workspace, generally we write this command, but this backslash character R identifies it as an exit character. So to set path, we generally have to use double slash or this forward slash, so that it will identify it as a path, not the escape character. So that thing we need to take care. Then after that, these are the different commands which we can use to find which is the current. Get working directory is the command. It tells us the current working directory. Ls commands lists all the objects in the workspace, and using set wd means set working directory command, you can set any directory to the current working directory. How to do that in RStudio, I will share now. So for that, we will need to go to terminal. I will clear all this. And if we have to see the current working directory, I will just press get working directory. So I set the path this D and RStudio folder. I will get it. Using set working directory, you can set the command. And uh, now we will move to the next point. Okay. So before starting, as I told you, the R help is available also in RStudio. This is a very great feature, and we don't need to, if the machine is connected to the internet, you don't need to go to any web browser or anything. The help which is available with packages directly you can get from RStudio IDE. I will show you. So basically, R is a language which is used for data analysis. And by default, if anybody wants to learn how to work with the data, R by default provides some different, some sample data sets. So To know which data sets are there inbuilt in the R, we just have to, not data sets, we have to use the command data, which will show all the data sets which are available, default data sets which are provided by R, and you can directly start working them. So we can see here, these are the different data sets which are provided by our community. Again, they are free, and we can use them and start exploring it immediately. So if anybody is new and wants to identify how to use those data sets, so we will select any data set, like say here, the most popular is iris dataset is also here, or then Titanic dataset is also here. So as I mentioned here in the PPT, to look at the help, let's say for her, iris or Titanic, we just have, you can use any of these commands. So let's look at iris. We will type help iris, and I will press enter. So can you see here in the bottom right window, the help regarding iris dataset is visible. So in the help portion, so anything you want to know regarding the dataset, you can see it here. Let's again, this help session, definitely it comes with the sample code also. So there is another popular dataset which is Titanic. So R can provide help on that dataset also. So this is the help on the Titanic dataset, which is by default we can see in the R Studio. No need to switch to any web browser or anything, etc. So so everything is available now, basic data sets and help on that also. So we will proceed further and look how to do some basic tasks. So today's session we will see some basic R codes and functions, how to use them, so that everybody will come to know it is not really like a tough thing or complex thing. It's easily available and anybody can start learning immediately. So this is regarding the help. So as I told you, data sets are available. Uh, these different data sets we can use immediately. So now the one thing which is required in data analysis is the data. This is available, and again, only not this limited data. We can obviously import data from different packages and different sources. I will come to that point in quite in few slides. Then if you have to work with the R and if you have to write the code, you need to take care of R packages. So as I told you initially also, R has a rich ecosystem of packages, and they have almost major inbuilt functions available. And if some of the inbuilt functions they are not available, then there we can write them using R. So that's the reason of behind the popularity of R. And if anybody learns to use those packages, they can start coding immediately into R without much wait. So R packages are really powerful, means R is powerful because of its packages and because of its visualization. And as I told you earlier, that R packages mostly support all statistical functions which are required in data analysis. So uh, now these are packages on local machine where they are saved. So I already did it, uh, and if you can see, I already installed R. So I have, my machine is Windows machine, and uh, those packages which are there in this path under library section, these are the different packages which are currently installed on my machine. So by default R installs uh, 10 to 15 packages, but there are more packages available other than that, and we can use them using install function. So I will go to R Studio ID and see here. I went there using Windows Explorer, but all the packages which are available in the R, if you see here, packages section, we can see them here. So uh, these are the packages currently installed along with the versions on my machine, and few of them I am using, and these are all the basic packages I am using to show the today's demonstration how to use R for simple analysis. So these are the packages. Again, uh, to install new packages is also quite easy. Just have to click here on the install. So I told that you can install from CRAN. If they are not available in CRAN or written by some other users, then they provide Z4 tar version. You can use them also, but most basic packages they are available in CRAN. So one such package is Shiny. So Shiny is basically a uh, user interface, provide web-based user interface available to the R. So R, whatever we can see here, in terms of data analysis, this we are doing it in the back end. Those who know the concept of full stack development, so that same concept applies here also. In the back end, we can perform code data preparation using R and its packages. In the front end, if we want to show data to the user and mainly in the web, then we use this Shiny package. So currently Shiny is not installed. So if you have to install it, then just click on the package name and run install. So installation will start. Here Shiny installation already started. This package will load in some time. So Shiny is again another very great package added to the R, which show using which we can show visualizations in web-based format also. So now the Shiny package is installed, and if I go here, so we can see Shiny is installed now into the machine. So as you can see, package installation is again really very easy, and after installing package, no need to set path name or change directory, anything, etc. This is the great feature offered by this R Studio ID, and this is my this is my most favorite ID. Okay, uh, so we have seen how to install the packages. Okay, there are other ways to install packages also. So like not just using this, but there is one install command also. Here we have to pass the package name. Using that also we can install packages, and like now we have seen, we have to, but at a time we can install only one package using this method. If you want to use multiple packages, then this install.packages function, and you can pass any list to this and type as many packages as you can want, and the repository name. So in one command only you can install multiple packages also. So there are different methods to install the required packages. So now, uh, starting from the coding point of view, we have R installed, R Studio ID available, packages available. Then the next thing is, and datasets also available, some free datasets provided by R. Next thing comes is the data input. So these are how to input data into the R program. So before that, we will briefly look at this concept, because most of you are might be aware of this, but those who are totally new to programming, and to revise those who know which are different data types, I will have a quick overview of which are the different data types available with R. So R supports different types of data types, including scalar data types, vector data types, matrices, data frames. So data frames, I will mention you, is the most used data type in the R, and list also. So vectors, uh, what vectors do is like that they store different number of data, but one vector can store only one category of data at a time. So like here, if we see the vector A, it has all numeric value, so we can say vector A contains only numeric value. Then if we see vector B, it has all character data, and there is another data type which is logical. So logical data types contains only two values, true or false. This contains only uh, this data type, only two values. So vector, they are useful because they can store many values into one variable. And I will show this code also so that you will see. uh, so I have copy pasted code earlier and I will show you. Yes, so see now, uh, these three vectors we have created: vector A, vector B, and vector C. Now if you want to access any of the particular item, let's say suppose from vector A you want to access only second and fourth item, then you just have to pass this command and it will retrieve second and fourth item. So this is the way uh, how to input data into the system using different data types. So these are the vectors. We will move forward for the next one, which is matrices. So matrices are really powerful. What we can do is we can store multidimensional data using matrices. Those who know the concept of matrices, they will know how it's very useful, and those who don't know the concept of matrices, it's not that difficult. We can say matrices is like multiple vectors combined together, but like vectors, matrix also can store data of one type only. So that is the matrices only. Again, creating matrices is like we can create matrix using R. We have very, this is just a single line of code which will create matrix Y, and this is first example how to create matrices. So yes, we will execute this one and see how it creates the matrix. So yeah, we'll go to next. Okay, so this line of code, it has items from 1 to 20. Number of rows will be 5 and number of columns will be 4. If I run this command, then this matrix Y is created. So now if I look at it, so we can see it has number of rows. Rows are the horizontal data sets. We can see numbers 1 to 5, and columns are the vertical columns. Matrix created for values 1 to 20 with 5 rows and 4 columns. So this is one way to create matrix. Another way to create matrix is like, as I told you, vectors, matrix is nothing but a different vectors combined together, but each vector can store data of what, single type only. So here I have three different vectors. One is sales, another is R names, and another is C names, and I will execute this first. So we have three vectors created, and now if I execute this command, my matrix, it will create matrix consisting of sales. Sales will have data from this vector. R names and C names, these are the different vectors. I will pass their names here, and dimension names is the dimension names of the matrices. And if I so I already executed this command. If I run only this name, then we can see uh, row names and column names and the matrix it's created. So we can see matrix data here also, or in environments. Please look at the left top window, and here we will find the my matrix variable. So basically this environment, it lists all the variables which are available in the workspace, current workspace. So yes, my matrix is available here, and if we look here in this main window, then we can see it here also. So because analysis is needed to be done fast, this ID provides everything here only. And again, this is really very simple and very small matrix. Real world data set can have data in millions or billions, but R loads data which is in millions or in billions here, and we can visualize it is here. again, that is really great feature. So this is another way to create matrices. Again, arrays are like similar to matrices, but they can have more than 2 dimensions. I will not go much more detail into this. And as I told earlier, data frames is the mostly popularly used and mostly used data type in the R. So how data frame differs from the matrix? So data frame is like a matrix only, but in data frame different columns can contain different types of values, like one column can be integer, then another can be numeric, another one can be categorical or etc. So that is the big power which is available with the data frames. So if you see, there are we will create one data frame also, and the syntax is like more or like same to the matrix. I will again go to the R Studio ID. Yeah, so see here, these are the three different vectors, I can say. They are created with different data. And now to create data frame, use the function data.frame. And okay, so uh, this operator, can you see this arrow and dash? This is the assignment operator which is used in R. So most languages, they use assignment operator as equal to. So we can use equal to also, or this assignment operator. This is known as assignment operator in R. So what assignment operator does is, it passes it pass it assigns the value which is as the right hand side of the variable to the left hand side. So here, this is the data frame. It will first data frame dot frame function we will use, and to that function we will pass these three different vectors. So it will create a data frame, and it will assign that data frame to the variable my data. So if I execute this command, now the data frame my data is created. So if we look here, these are the three different vectors and the data frame. Now if we see the column names, they are different. To change the column names, we just have to use this inbuilt function available, names function. We have to pass the name of the data frame and the different column names to number of columns. And if I run this command and we see again, then now this my data frame has these column names. So this is how to work with the data frame. Now if you want to access the data, so if you want to access columns from 1 to 3, then if I run this command, then we can have all three columns. uh, if you just want to select data from one row only, let's say row, so one column only, let's say column 2, then we can have data from column 2 only. Then uh, if you want to this is accessing data frame column by passing index name. Another way to access the data frame column is we can pass the data frame column name. So data frame column name here, like in this command, this is the matrix name and these are the column names which we assigned. So these are the two different columns and we can access the data frame. And another third way which is available is use this operator. Using directly with this dollar operator and the name of the column, we can assign the data, we can access the data. So these are the different ways which are used to access the data frame, and it's really simple to work with the data. And most data analysis and manipulation tasks often require these commands, and they are like literally easy to use and easy to remember also. So again, there is another data structure available in R, which is list. So it list is nothing but a ordered collection of objects, and it allows you to gather a variety of objects under one name. So that is also great feature available with R. So coming to the conclusion, for data manipulation, these are three, not for data manipulation, for data frame or object manipulation. These are some of the useful functions which are used mostly with the R, and you will like find you those who work with R, they need to use them in each and every program uh, when they work with the data types in the R. So just some of them are like length, which tells the number of components. String object, str function, it returns the structure of an object. Class function returns the class of object. This C function, it stands for combine, and it combines objects into a vector. We already use this when combining different vectors into matrix or data frame. C, this combine function we already used. So these are the different functions. Then uh, next theme comes, till now we have seen that id, how to set up the R, how to give input data. The data which we have entered now through the code, that was really small. In real world, when you have to work with the data, you have to import data from different sources, and that source can be anything like a database. There are different relational databases available. That data can be in relational format or in file format. Most popular data storing format is Excel or CSV file. So, and many of the times uh, when we carry out analysis for data science, we need to import data from multiple sources, and again to import data, art provides inbuilt functions. And really those who know languages like Java or C++, we first need to connect to the database, and then we have to import that data. So there are many steps involved, but here we can see importing data from a comma separated file or Excel file. It's really easy, and it can be done within few simple steps also. I will not go into exploring this because now we have 5 to 10 minutes left, and I have to show you other important aspects of R also. So this we can, again initially we did this, create a data frame from scratch. We can do it here. And again exporting data. So what comes under exporting data is that the data which you have imported or created in data analysis, first we need to perform some data cleaning, that we need to transform that data so that it can be available in a correct format, and that transform data we use to perform further analysis. So to do that, and to we need to sometimes store it or export it to other environment. Everything is available with basic with the help of our packages also. So exporting data is also very easily available inside the R, and you can view data also. So already we have seen this example okay, so I will just show you few commands and how to view the data. So like now we have here this my data uh, data frame, and if you can see here, there are some different data frames also available. So like if I see my data 1, and if you can see here, it has 5000 rows and 2 table columns. So this is really a big data as compared to the previous data which we have entered. So this data is also stored in the database. So what happens is, for the data analysis task, if we just have to have a look at a glimpse of data, then how the data is, we just have to use head command. What head command will do, it will list only first 5 rows of the data. Now here in this data frame we have only 2 entries. Real world data sets can have multiple columns up to 1000 or more also, and can have more rows also. So if anybody is new with data and he wants to get a glimpse of the data, this head command is useful. Similarly, tail command if you use, then this shows the last 5 entries in the data set. So these are the different manipulation commands directly available for performing data analysis. So Now, in R, missing values, they are represented by the symbol NA, which is meaning not available, and impossible values like divided by 0, they are presented by the symbol NaN, means not a number. And again, there is inbuilt function which is dot nax. It will return true if a value is missing, true if the value is missing, otherwise it will return false. So I will share it with you. So see here, we have data frame, and if I pass it's dot na and vector e, then see na value is available at the 4th place, so it's written that this data has na values available. So this how we can check the na values with R, and handling na values is really important in any data analysis. uh, So yeah, before proceeding to the data manipulation section, you can use dates directly using the date functions which are available in R. So in R, dates are represented as the number of dates since 1970 1st January with negative values for earlier date. So the data set which has value before this, that cannot be, that all dates will have negative value. Now using as dot date function we can convert strings to date also. So these are there are these basic functions and many more functions available with date, and working with time series data is really a tough task, but R has many inbuilt functions available and which really simplify the job of data analyst to work with such a data. And this is just a brief overview, because now I will proceed further. Data manipulation. So after having access to the data, we need to perform some basic cleaning, transformation, handling NA values and different tasks before presenting data, before transforming it into a structured form. And to do all that, R provides different functions which are available generally in most of the programming language. So like creating new variable, so this is available in almost every programming languages. So here this is the uh, just idea how to create a new variable. So basically creating new variable, here this side tells, if you have one data frame and you want to add another column to the data frame, this is one way. Like suppose you have data frame named my data, and if the column is not there sum, and you want to have sum of two other columns like my data column x1 and column x2, then you can do this by just writing this code. So adding another column to a data frame can be performed in this way also, or otherwise you can use attach function also and transform function also. So yes, this we will not see practically. Then arithmetic operators, like every programming language, these arithmetic operators, they are available with R: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, exponential, modulus, integer division. Then logical operators like less than or equal to, greater than, and equal to, exactly equal to, not equal to, and Boolean operators, they are also available with R like any programming language. Control structures, the most famous control structure used in almost each and every language is if else, for, while, switch, if else. All those are available with R also, along with the built-in functions, and this really gives a great power to the programmer to perform data analysis using R. Uh, so these are the some very common numeric statistical functions which are available in the R. And again, for sorting also, the inbuilt functions are provided by the language, which we just have to pass on to the variable or data type, and we can perform sorting, merging, aggregating in R. So this is the power which is provided by the R. Exploratory data analysis with R is again a big topic, and just I will in 2 minutes I will tell you how again easy it is to perform it in R, like all other previous functions: importing, exporting, adding data. I will just will give you a brief overview, and then we will conclude the session. We question and answers there are there afterwards. So uh, main powerful feature of R is exploratory data analysis, and as I told you many times in this lecture, uh, exploratory data analysis can be performed. Exploratory data analysis can be performed using inbuilt functions only, and again that is very easy. So those who know some coding and they have done it using any other language, uh, here I will just show you which are the basic functions they are available and how small code we have to write to do them. We will really not execute it because of the time constraint. So see here, from accessing subset of rows and columns is the basic task in any data analysis, and that is very simple in R. Here we just have to pass the data frame name. So here df implies the data frame name. This is the pi operator, powerful operator available only to R, which does this task simple. So just pass the data frame name for accessing data frame, then use the filter function available, pass the column name along with the values, then use another pipe operator, and in select function write the name of columns which need to be accessed. So if we run this, then we can have all the rows and columns which we were passed to the data frame, they are here. So for this subsetting rows and columns I will show you the demo. And so this is the other R program I have written. Palmer penguins is another data set which is not available freely with R, but it is available with freely on the internet. I used it to show it. So I already imported all these packages, and so say subsetting of rows and columns, if as I told you, so the data set is in the data frame df, and if I run this command, so now here we can see all the penguin species whose bill length in millimeter is less than 30 fold, and it selects the species whose sex and it shows the columns which contains only 3 values. So this is very simple command. It is similar to SQL. Those who know the SQL queries, they will find it similar. So only this simple command we have to write, and we can extract we can use R for exploratory data analysis also. So this is really a big topic. We will conclude our session here, and yes, question answers are welcome now. Yeah, thank you everybody. Okay, so let me know what would you what you liked in this introductory section, and if we are planning to have multiple sessions for this R analysis using R, but it will be great if you tell topics of your interest. Then we can, depending on audience interest, we can plan content and lecture series accordingly. So yes, your feedback and comments and everything to improve this is highly welcome. I request everybody to please give a feedback and your request or your suggestions for the next topic.
If you take a problem statement where data set is given and then
Yeah, sure, Abhishek. We will take. Sure, Pranati. We will take it into consideration. Thank you. Yes. Yes, Alpesh. So the question is difference between database and R. So R is not a database. R is a programming language and a tool which is we use for performing data analysis. And database is like a very different concept compared to the tool which is used for performing data analysis. So databases like popular are Oracle or Microsoft SQL Server, and even nowadays MongoDB, etc. They are used to store different kind of data. The data which is in graphical format, in audio format, in text format, numerical format, databases are used to store the data, and SQL is the language which is used to perform operations on those databases. Whereas R is a programming language which it has some tools. Of course, R works with the databases because data analysis involves that only, but database and R is very different concept. So yeah. Yes. Huh. Hmm. Uh, yeah, so the difference between R and SQL is that R has a different support system which we can use to perform exploratory data analysis. So basic functions which are available in R, they are available, sorry, in SQL, they are available in R also. But R has many more to offer than that.
So Alpesh, basically, you have a problem statement. Your data is in one SQL, okay, and suppose you are doing some analysis on that. So if you are writing through Python, if you are accessing that database through Python, the number of steps or the number of lines of code will be much higher probably, and then if you are accessing the same database using R, because R has some packages, libraries, and
Visualizations also.
which will make the calls to the database easier, faster, or probably the lines of code will be smaller. If you see the, if same database you are accessing through Python and R for a data visualization application, the lines of code will be smaller, so it will be faster and easier for you to code using R than using Python or C++. Right, you're right. We are planning, we can show with the same example, we can show how much you have to do in Python and how easy it is in R. Okay. Sajal, I see your question. How about covering few machine learning algorithm if it's not too much to ask? So Sajal, this initiative, right, we are running from last 4 years, 2018. So if you go to witspune.com, okay, there are a lot of videos and libraries and audios and podcasts available where we have already covered a lot of machine learning algorithms. Okay, so they were more of use cases and applications of machine learning over different sectors, and we have really covered a lot of amazing sectors, right from cricket, sports, fashion, food, travel, tourism. So there are a lot of use cases available. Okay, now, and our almost you will see more than 20-30 talks, and now we are jumping more into implementation aspects, right? So we will keep covering them. So go to the video galleries, go to the past events, see 2019 video galleries, 2020 video galleries, and in the home page of wits also there are podcasts where a lot of things are discussed, and in our conference also we will discuss much more thing. But in the meetups we are focusing more on lot of implementation aspects. So right now if you see, we have 3 series running. One is on data storage technologies, second one is on data engineering, third one is data governance. Because in our experience we see that there is lack of proper understanding in these areas. People want to jump directly into modeling without understanding this. As you know, machine learning pipeline is huge, and every step in machine learning pipeline is a specialization in itself. You can uh, learn so many aspects just on EDA, just EDA, or just on data visualization, just on different types of missing value treatment also you can specialize. Then feature engineering, feature selection, then comes model. So without understanding all the things, without understanding the data, without playing with the data, without studying the data, without understanding any relations between the data, people try to jump into modeling. And that is why most of the data science and machine learning projects fail, because we have not understood the data and the patterns. So that is why we try to break myths, and we try to focus on topics which are most neglected, or people don't give importance, and hence they are not successful. So we take regular interviews, we go to hackathons, we are juries. So it today it's very easy to call APIs and everything. Pretty much everything is available. There are no code platforms, and all the top tier one big fours, they give you everything. So it's not big deal, because you are not coding any regression algorithm yourself. You're just calling the API and running that regression algorithm. But without understanding the problem statement, without understanding proper reasoning and thinking, most important thing is subject matter expertise, domain knowledge, business knowledge, market knowledge. Without understanding all this, people are jumping into modeling, right? So they are not successful. If you don't know how to manage the data, right? I see, if there is a version of data, you run an algorithm on one version of data. Companies like Amazon, the data is flowing in real time. You run next instant, your results will be different because the data is changing. So there's something called as repeatable AI. So you need to have data ops to ensure that can you reproduce. So there is something called responsible AI, reproducible AI, repeatable AI, and different aspects of AI, right? So without understand, then the second time they run the algorithm, the results are different, because the data has changed. They don't have version, they cannot you able to run exactly the same algorithm on that same set of data which gave a particular result, right? So there are new aspects like federated learning. Other aspects of data are completely missed. See, data is the core and foundation of that. Most people think that data is in Excel. That is only in capstone projects and college projects. In no real world, data is in Excel. It is not even in SQL, it is in Hadoop, right? So if you don't know how to access the data in Hadoop and play with it, right, so it will be very difficult, right? So these things are actually missed, so we are giving more importance to that. Okay, I am sharing you the the link to the website and the meetup. Okay, so there you have all, just browse through that, go to the past events witspune.com, and there in the home page also there is a video gallery which will take you to the to those videos. Or there is, on past events, there is sessions page. Okay, so in the each session there is a video, there is a PPT, there is a transcript of the session, and there are amazing applications, amazing talks on very very senior level people in the industry. So leverage that. Then we also have link to the Stanford podcast. It's a huge resource. So focus on that, and then we will come back. We are going stage by stage. So data governance, data engineering, data storage. Once we finish, then probably we will also start addressing data cleaning and pre-processing, missing value treatments, outliers, biases. If you don't treat this and you directly run the model, your model is ought to fail. Then feature selection, feature engineering. Then you will, based on the problem statement, you will decide supervised, unsupervised, deep, and then the modeling will start. Okay, but it totally depends on the problem statement and type of data. So, any other questions? Yes, Alpesh, I have shared the URL. Okay.
Okay,
So
and
stay tuned, and if you have, I think those hands-on we will do. Any other questions? Yes, Atif.
okay, pipe operator. That is known as pipe operator in R. Yes, yes. Okay. So thank you, Atif, for your feedback. And yes, so pipe operator is a really great functionality offered by R, and it's like pulling the data. So we can pull one set of data, and from that particular one subset, if we want to have, if you want to extract another subset, so you just have to use that pipe operator, which will help your task, and it will pull the data based on different queries, different selections, different filters, etc. So yes, means, that is the basic functionality I can tell you here, but this is most popular operator which is not available, support which pipe operator provides. The Python also has something similar to like that, but not to the way it operates in R. So pipe operator is again very great tool, and yes, in next sections I will explore more on it.
So Teju, what do you think the difference between Python and R based on what you heard? So right now you are finding Python easier, is it? Okay, okay, fine. So thank you, Rupali. We will see, what next we can do.
Yes.
You have noted down, right? What some of the people have asked.
Yes, yes. So all major questions are noted, and you are always welcome. The website is there. You can any questions, or if you want a lecture on any interesting topic related to R or related to data analysis. Ours is a great community, and is supported by industry experts. So any topic of interest, you please let us know. We will try to organize session or by the experts on that topic. Yes, thank you everybody for your time and
Have a
everything.
great evening.
Have a great evening. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye. Stay safe.